All right, we are live. That's amazing. And I love this energy. I love this participation. And keep this going if you really want to succeed in life. I always say one thing, and I'll say that thing again this evening, that energy is really important. You know what? If you watch this video at any part of the day, maybe in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, maybe in the evening, or maybe at night, you should feel the energy come what may. And that's the secret. Well, the topic for this evening, you might have guessed, you might be aware of it, but still, if you're not aware of it, let me share with you that this topic was specifically asked to me through a lot of messages that I received from a lot of followers on Instagram and YouTube. So I really appreciate that you reached out to me and asked this question: how to overcome the fear of speaking in English? Tell me very honestly, how many of you have this fear of speaking in English? Whenever you think about that, I have to speak in English, you get nervous, you get scared. Just type in, I have this fear. It's really important that you write it down and be aware. Many a times, we don't accept it. No, everything is fine. I don't think so. I'm pretty much fine. You're just hiding behind. You need to come out and accept that I do have this fear whenever I have to speak in English. It's really important, folks. I'm reading your comments. We have this feeling that whenever we hear someone who's talking to us in English, maybe right now, as I'm speaking in English, because that is the language which everyone understands from across the globe who are attending this session, I am deliberately choosing this language. Else, I was pretty much fluent in my native language as well. But let's understand that what is this challenge? Why do we have this fear when it comes to speaking in English? Today, you might think that, Devas, you speak decently. You have a decent command over the language, but I know I wasn't the same. I remember, folks, back in my school days, I was embarrassed to take my mom along with me to school. In the school, we had a parent teacher meeting. Do you remember? Parent teacher meeting after every examination, be it your half yearlies, be it your term examinations. You used to have a parent teacher meeting where the teacher used to meet the parents. And if parents have any question, the teacher has anything to share about the child, they used to interact. Nothing wrong with it. You must have had the same. But the problem with me was that I was not that fluent in English. The students in my class, majority of them could speak in English because they might have had an environment. They might have been more into reading, which I was not. And I used to feel inferior as compared to all my classmates. I used to feel hesitant that they all can speak in English. In the class also, I used to have a doubt. And instead of raising my hand and asking a question, I simply used to remain seated and not ask a question because I knew it that the moment I would ask a question, everyone would laugh at me. Now, technically, I was not fluent in English. I was not feeling happy about myself. I was feeling inferior as compared to others. So, whenever this parent teacher meeting used to happen, we used to go to school. I was really scared that I'll have to meet the teacher. And if she asked me, because the teacher used to speak in English, and I wasn't that fluent in English. Moreover, I could not speak properly. I used to get stuck at words. So I was very embarrassed, very insecure that how will I speak if she answers or if she asks a question to me. So, this insecurity, this inferiority which I had, I shifted this insecurity to my mom, who could not speak in English as well as the mothers of other children could. Do you see this? That how, as a child, I was a bit insecure, and I thought that my mother should not talk to my teacher, else I would feel insulted. That Devas's mom cannot speak well in English. Had I been speaking in English, I wouldn't have had that kind of feeling. But as a child, because of my insecurity, because of my inferiority complex, I thought that my parents should not accompany me, else I'll feel more insulted. Have you ever experienced something similar? Have you ever experienced something similar where you tried to go and talk to people, but you felt insulted that, if someone talks to me or if someone talks to my parents who cannot speak in English, well, if that was the case with you, I feel sorry, you should feel sorry too. That you felt that ways for your parents. I felt sorry that I should not be thinking in that ways for my parents. Now, folks, why I'm sharing this? It is we, trust me, you and I. It is we who have this inferiority complex. It is we who think that people who can speak fluently in English, they are superior and we are inferior. Nobody has told us, or even if they have told us, we have given it a lot of importance. People around us, they speak a lot of things. Do we take all the things to our heart? No, right? We give lot of importance to the person who speaks in English, because everywhere we see, in the class, outside the class, at the workplace, outside the workplace, even when a guy is trying to approach a girl in the college, he loves her, he really likes her, but he has this feeling that, if I speak in English, she would be impressed. I wish I could speak properly. Or even when he goes for an interview, he has this thought that if I speak in English, the HR, the recruiter would be impressed. We're all trying to use English to impress the other person. Do you see this? English has become more of a status symbol, that the person who knows how to speak in English is given a higher status, whereas the person who doesn't feels low as compared to the one who speaks in English. Do you see this? What is happening in our mind? Nobody is like doing it than we ourselves. I have seen people when I am training in the villages, in the tier 3 cities, where the culture is not to speak in English. I see a lot of people who speak in Hindi, who speak in native language, and they're pretty much okay with it. They do not have a low self esteem, low self confidence, mind you. Mind you. I'm slowly coming to the main point. Try and understand. It's really important, folks. Now, this inferiority complex builds up, builds up, builds up, because we are giving a lot of importance to someone who speaks in English, and we consider ourselves as we don't stand anywhere. Now, what can we do about it? First of all, change the way you look at the person who speaks in English. Have you ever, have you ever tried to understand that what is the story of that person? Maybe that person went to a convent school. He had an English medium education, which perhaps you did not have. Not your mistake. Not your mistake. Whatever your parents could get you, that is the best. Yes or no? That is the best. So you got education, which was not in your hands, the school education. The friends that you had in your childhood, you may not have had those friends who talk in English. Or maybe you had those friends who speak in English, but they kind of bully you. They kind of make you feel inferior because you could not speak properly. You have this insecurity that they are superior and you are inferior. Not because you want to feel that ways, those people are making you feel that ways. Yes. Maybe your parents are not that educated that they know how to speak in English. If they have given you education, feel thankful. Express the gratitude that you got education, you got food, clothing, and shelter. Yes, that could also be reason. The environment, the place where you live, the city where you live, the village where you live, the country where you live. Was the culture there to speak in English? There are a lot of reasons behind a person not being able to speak in English. And similarly, we have a lot of reasons for a person who is able to speak in English. So, before you give someone a lot of importance, or before you say that he is not worthy of anything, kindly take a moment to understand what is the backstory. If a person has not got any exposure, what is his fault? What is his fault? It is not his fault. It is not his fault. It is not your fault. If you haven't got the exposure till now, it is not your fault. If you did not have those parents, that school, that friend circle, that surroundings, it is not your fault. Tell this to yourself, it is not my fault. Now, once you are clear that, okay, it's at the same level, I'm not inferior or they are superior. No, we are at the same level, right? What do we do now? What should we do now if we have to overcome this fear? We have this fear of being rejected. If you observe, we all have this fear of being rejected. If I approach a girl and if I try to speak in English and if I do not impress her, she would reject me. If I try and go to any HR, if I go for any interview and try to speak in English to impress the HR, if I'm not selected, I am rejected. If I try to speak in front of some people and if I don't speak fluently in English, what happens? I again have this fear of being rejected. So, do you see what is the fear, the common fear? Fear of being rejected. That if I don't speak in English, I would be rejected. I would be rejected. So, what is the need? We all want to be accepted. We all want to be accepted as who we are. We all want to be accepted as who we are. Now, having said that we should be accepted as who we are, that sounds good. That this is a nice thing that if the world accepts us as who we are, that's great. However, the world has an expectation, the world has a requirement that for a certain type of job, for a certain type of society or interaction, the person should be able to speak in English. That is a requirement, right? So we just have to meet that requirement. It is just a language which does not make you superior or inferior. Tell this to yourself again and again. Now, what can you do about it? Tell me honestly, in childhood, when we wanted to learn how to ride a bicycle, what was the driving force? What was your reason? Let me know in the comment section that you wanted to learn how to ride a bicycle. I really want to know. You must have been what in your early years, maybe classes fourth or third, or maybe before that. Maybe before that, what was your reason to learn how to ride a bicycle? Maybe that you had some friends in your society whom you saw that, hey, this guy is riding a bicycle, even I want to ride that bicycle. Or the feeling that I would go independently to school and I don't want my parents to come along with me to drop me to my school. Yes. Do you have these thoughts? That I want to, be independent. I want to go with my friends and just go solo instead of my parents or my siblings dropping me in the school. Did we have those reasons? Or many other reasons that why did we prefer to ride a bicycle? You had a reason, right? That you wanted to just feel the breeze. Wow, what a feeling. When you used to race with your friends in the society, it was a great feeling. It was a great feeling, right? That I want to ride this bicycle and let's see who comes fast or who comes first, rather. Let's go really fast. Let's see who comes first. We used to all do that. Yes or no? Do you remember your childhood? We used to all race on our bicycles just to get ahead of each other. Now, when we gradually moved ahead, we learned how to ride a bike. I know that maximum of the students in their class 11th or maybe before that these days, they want to get a bike for themselves. That boom, boom, boom. And they all get inspired by those movies. And they're like, wow, I'm going to go for a stunts and wheelies and whatnot. And try to, like say that, look at me, I can ride a bike so well. Yes. And even people who want to learn a car, right? Learn how to drive a car. Even they have something which everyone had in common, right? From riding a bicycle or a bike, motorbike, or a car. Everyone had one thing in common. They wanted to reach a certain level. They wanted to drive. They wanted to do something with their week. There was a purpose behind it. There was a purpose behind it. Behind, maybe if you have to go to workplace, you have to learn how to drive a car. That could be a reason. If supposedly you have to drop your child and your husband is not there, just taking examples, folks. The lady has to learn how to drive a car. Generally, that happens in the Indian families. Or if you have to travel from your school to your tuitions or whatever, you need to learn how to, drive or ride any of the vehicles. So you had good reasons to learn that vehicle, learn how to drive that vehicle. Similarly, learning English is exactly the same. Is exactly the same. When you first, tell me honestly, just compare, okay? Just compare riding a bicycle versus riding a bike. I repeat, riding a bicycle versus riding a bike. In which of the two scenarios did you fall more often? In which of the two scenarios did you fall more often? I think I made a mistake. Did I? Yes, did you fell more often? In the two scenarios, in which of the two scenarios you just tasted the dust more often? It was bicycle. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, absolutely. Because that was the starting point for you. Tell me honestly, from where did you learn balancing? From where did you learn balancing? Did you learn balancing while riding an Activa, riding a bike? Or did you learn how to balance while riding a bicycle? You know the answer. You know the answer, right? That you learned how to ride a bicycle, right? You learned how to balance. And when you changed the vehicle, right, from moving to a bicycle to a bike, you were like, hey, this is easy. I can balance. I can handle it. But remember the first day when you were supposed to hold the handles, there was a bell, trin, 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 trin. And if we see someone in front of us, we're like, hey, get away, get away, get away, move away. Yes, that was the initial days. That were the initial days, folks. That were the initial days. And ever since then, you just made progress and progress and progress. Just think for a while. If you gave up on that day, if you gave up on that day, would you be able to learn how to balance? No. Or maybe you would have taken a lot of time to learn. Do you get this? Starting small. Starting small is the key. Today, as you learn English, start small. You might fall. People around you would laugh at you that, hey, look at him. He can't even form a proper sentence. That's okay. That's okay. Today, at least you're able to use a word. Today, at least you're able to frame few words, like a basic sentence that, how are you? I'm good. Great. Congratulate. Very nice. Think about yourself and compare yourself with who you were 5 years back. How you used to speak. Just compare. Has something changed? Has something changed? The way you were speaking 5 years back and the way you were speaking today, has something changed? Or maybe 1 year back. Just compare. Have you learned new words, new phrases, new sentences, new ways to communicate, new ways to speak? Have you gained some confidence which is more as compared to what you were in the last 1 year? Answer me. Yes, I have changed. If you have, let's be honest. Have you changed in the last few months, not even years? Have you seen improvement? Have you learned new words? Yes, have you changed? Have you changed? Everyone, I would like to know from everyone, have you changed in terms of learning new words, new ways, new expressions to communicate? Have you learned? Yes. Isn't that improvement? Isn't that improvement? And you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself. Talk about these last 2 weeks. You've been attending sessions every single day on YouTube with me. Have you seen a change in yourself? Have you seen a change in yourself? You might type in 14 days were awesome. Let me see. How many of you saw change? Type in 14 days were awesome. You will see that you have made progress. You have made progress every single day. The only issue is we are always comparing ourselves, feeling inferior as compared to those who speak in English. I know it, that even I don't speak that great English. Trust me, I know it. If I compare with the global standards, when I listen to Mr. Shashi Tharoor, I'm like, where is my dictionary? Where is my dictionary? Because I have to pause his video that what did he say? What does this word even mean? It is a tongue twister for me. It is a tongue twister for me. I'm not able to get what he says. But he is impressive. And I always learn from him. By watching his videos, by listening to his audios, reading about him, many articles, because I know that I'm improving. English is not my native language, friends. Neither it's yours. I presume that. That's why you're attending this session. We were not born in that environment, that culture where we were graced, we were blessed to know the language. We did not. And that's completely okay. And that's completely okay. We know our native language. Feel proud. Pat your back. You get this? That how you go about it? Starting slow and keep going. I know that even I fumble. Even I make grammatical mistakes. That's okay. You have to accept it. That it is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to make mistakes. It is more important that how comfortable you are in expressing yourself. Even if you goof up some words here and there, some tenses here and there, it's okay. Find a friend. Find like someone who speaks in English, join a group, join a course, learn. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Learn from people. As you're watching these videos, you're like learning from here. Good. Learn from everywhere and just see how people are speaking. I get to learn a lot from them. Why is it happening? Learning mindset is there. If I start saying, I'm not that lucky that I should be born in Shashi Tharoor's family, right? So try and understand. When we have this fear, we have this fear. I have this fear that if I would jump from my roof, and if I jump, right, maybe from third floor, if I jump from the third floor onto the ground floor, what would happen? I would injure myself. I would physically injure myself. Yes or no? That is physical injury. And my mind says that if I would speak in English and if everyone around me laughs at me, that would be an emotional injury. Who is in charge of your emotions? You or I? If you are the in charge of your emotions, just type in, I am in charge of my emotions. Take a moment and say this to yourself. I am in charge. I am in charge of my emotions. Say this to yourself. It's important because when you allow someone else to take charge of your emotions, you give that key in their hands and they can lock you, they can unlock you as per their need. So when you say that, hey, I am in charge of my emotions, I'm learning, I'm learning, I am learning. You will not have this fear because it would happen. Because as you are learning, you would have your friends who can ride the bike at 140 km per hour. And you'll say, wow, the way he zoom, 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 zoom. If you try it tomorrow, you might hit someone. Don't try that. Go slow. Go slow. Have you ever observed that why do people who are learning how to ride or how to drive a car, they have an L symbol? They have an L symbol. Yes, they have an L symbol. Why? They openly accept that I'm a learner. Nothing to be ashamed of. It is good that I am in the learning mode. What is wrong in that? What is being, what is it to be ashamed of? Ashamed of, right? Nothing. I'm learning. It's good that he has a trainer, he has a coach by his side who is telling him that, okay, this is how you should learn how to drive the car. Else, even you can learn by yourself. But there are chances of accidents. You can hit someone, you can damage your car, you may take some more time. You will not get those like techniques. So find people around you who can assist you, who can support you. Very important. And most importantly, have belief that it's okay. I would learn it. Trust me, the native speakers, if you will ever speak with someone who is not from India, but from your country, but from a country where native language is English, they would not laugh at you. Trust me, it is just we who laugh at each other. Try doing that. Speak with any person whose native language is English. Maybe someone from the UK, from the US, and other places. Just speak with them. You would realize that those people would not laugh at you. It's just some of us who have learned the language, maybe because they got the initial, support from their school, family member, society, or they were trained, or they made an effort. Yes, they made an effort. One more important thing. It is not about that I accept myself. I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay with who I am, but I'm also learning. If you miss that part, that no, that is too tough. That is too tough. You have to leave your comfort zone, my dear friends. We all love our comfort zone. We all wait that someone would come, give me 2 spoons, and then I'll be like a master of the language. That will never happen. That would never happen, right? So you ought to leave the comfort zone if you really want to learn this language and speak effectively. That would definitely help you in your life ahead. On this note, I would just wish you super luck for your super life ahead. Until then, you should stay awesome and stay productive. And now I am in full mood to answer your questions, which you might have this evening. So over to you, folks. I will take up few questions before I sign out. So ask relevant questions relevant to this session so that the essence of this session remains intact. And also let me know that how did you like this session? Did you enjoy this session? Did you love this session? If it was worth sharing, then do share with all your friends who are feeling insecure, who are feeling a bit low about themselves because of low self confidence that, oh, I cannot speak in English. That's okay. That's completely okay. Wow. One question, and we wish to learn English, but do they do wish to learn our mother tongue, Hindi, Bangla, Telugu, Tamil? Well, if you're asking that the people who are from the UK or the US, that why are we learning their language? Why aren't they learning our language? Well, that's not an appropriate question to ask. The reason being, there is a requirement, there's a global acceptance of a language. That's the only reason. The business works in a language that is English. That's the only reason. Else, you should be proud of the language that you speak. For example, if there is someone from the UK or the US or some country where native language is English, and if he has to work in India, and that too maybe in Karnataka or in Andhra Pradesh or any state in the country where the native language is not Hindi or maybe, it's not English, then he would have to learn Hindi or Telugu or Kannada, whatever the language is. So it is all about adaptation. It is all about adaptation. There's a very wise saying, when in Rome, be a Roman. When in Rome, be a Roman. So that's it. Okay, thanks, sir. Very important things you shared. Awesome, awesome, Sangeeta. Is there any online English course available in suitable fee which can be trustable? So you have 3 questions in one. Is the course available? Yes, it's very much available. Suitable fee, I do not know what is suitable fee, so you ought to define by yourself. And number 3, which is trustable, you have to see who is training you. Look at the person, how good he is in terms of empowering you. If you find that person, then go. First trust, first experience. If you feel that it is good, then go and join. I am getting grammatical mistakes, sir. What should I do? Okay, it's completely okay to make grammatical mistakes. For example, I say, I didn't knew this. I didn't knew this. This might sound okay because I'm trying to speak that mujhe ye nahi pata tha. That's Hindi, right? I didn't knew this. But grammar says that you should never have a past tense with did. So you should never say, I didn't knew this. You'll say, I didn't know this. I didn't go there. You will not say, I didn't went there. Yes, no. You will say, I didn't go there. So this is a basic grammar rule, which you can learn as you occasionally, maybe once in a week, twice in a week, thrice in a week, at the max, if you refer some rules. Referring the rules and applying it is most important part. So as you are referring the grammar, right? That's just one part of it. If you get too much into the rules, the verb forms, gone. Don't do that. Do not commit that mistake. You have to be fluent in the way you speak. As you listen to me, just see the way I make sentences, the way I form this, the simple sentences. Try doing that. How are you doing? I'm doing really well. How about you? How is the day? The day has been good. How about you? Basic conversation, start from there. And also have a group which can correct you. Have a coach who can improve you, who can help you. Okay, it was a great session. Awesome. Okay, there's a question coming in. Dr. Hina, I can speak English fluently in front of my colleagues. Awesome. However, whenever I have to speak in front of my boss, I get nervous and can't speak fluently. Why does this happen? Hina, it has nothing to do with your command over the language. If you can speak in English, if you know how to form sentences, for example, if you ask me to German, I'll be stuck. I would not be able to form sentences because I do not know the language. But as you know English and you can communicate with your colleagues completely, smoothly and fluently. But when you talk to your boss, you have this hesitation because you gave him a superior position that, oh, he's my boss, he is judging me. He be accepting my thoughts, would he be accepting my words, or would he be evaluating me? He's not doing anything, okay? Or maybe if he's doing it, remember, I'm in charge of my emotions. You are giving that charge and control in his hand. You tell him that he's the one who is controlling you. You give that control in his hands. Observe it. Observe it. Your purpose over there is just to share the message. What is your purpose? When you talk to your boss, you're just sharing a piece of information or the work that you have done or something to be discussed, strategized, ideated, whatever it is. You're not gonna say that, hey, he's my boss. How can I talk to him? You say this to yourself. Did the boss ever say this to you? That, hey, Hina, you're my junior. Dare you speak in front of me? No, he did not, right? But we in our head say that, oh my God, he's a boss, he's superior. We say this. We say this to ourselves, and the mind says, okay, he is superior, he is unapproachable, he might evaluate me, what he might say, what he might do. That's what you are thinking. Internal communication, So when we write something in English, it doesn't seem as difficult as we feel while speaking. So what can we do to avoid that? So when we write something in English, it doesn't seem as difficult as we feel while speaking. So what can we do to avoid that? Diksha, whenever you are writing, you are not evaluated in the real time. Your evaluation is not in the real time because when I have written something, I'm done. Now the person would read and then make judgments around me. But when I'm speaking, like right now, as you are listening to me, you are making judgments in the real time and you have to face it in the real time. When I have texted, people prefer to text than to speak because you cannot see each other. So the feeling of facing someone, that how would I feel, that embarrassment, it's terrible. It's terrible, right? So just to avoid that embarrassment, I prefer, hey, here it is. So it's all about that how embarrassed you feel, right? Or is it in the real time, or is it in the when the person reads that part? So the suggestions shared in this session, where you start small, right? Start talking to maybe one person, your close friend, then someone who is not that close, maybe a friend of your close friend. Try doing that. Try doing that. Start small. I'm not asking you to go on that stage, hold the mic, and speak in front of thousands of people. That day would come. It came for me. I can vouch for it that if you continue doing what you are doing in terms of progress and growth and learning, you would someday definitely speak in front of a lot of people. I experienced that. Clear? Okay, a lot of questions this evening. If I am not able to answer all the questions, please pardon me. I would be covering up lot many sessions around like communication and public speaking and English in the coming few days. So you can ask those questions again. I hope that will be okay with everyone. Okay. I can write English, understand English, but when it comes to speaking, I was like blank. The words are not coming in the mind. Ajay, I have a session. If you check out this series of 21 days, you may check out a video where I have covered about how you can think in English, how you can think in English, because there are many people who have this challenge that how should I think in English? How should I form sentences in English? Please watch that video. Okay, there are questions coming in. कुछ गलत हुआ तो सब हंसेंगे. I have a point that if something goes wrong, then everyone would laugh. Isn't that great? You have the power to make everyone laugh. And tell me honestly, the person who laughs at someone who is relatively weak, or who is struggling, who is that person? Is that person having strength of character? If I use a bit of Hindi for you, उसके चरित्र की पहचान कैसी होगी? जो शख्स किसी शख्स पे हंसता है जो उससे थोड़ा सा कमजोर होता है in terms of anything. Take an example. You go to a restaurant. There is a waiter who is serving you. If you laugh at him, if you talk to him in a very demeaning way, आप उसकी बेइज्जती करते हैं, what does it show about you? Are you a man with character? Or do we have the right to doubt your character? Yes. You get the answer, right? You get the answer. The people who are laughing at you, we should feel sorry for them. We should just pray that Almighty blesses them. Folks, understand. This thought comes in everyone's head that what if everyone laughs at me? People will do that because that is how they satisfy their egos. They feel superior about themselves. Do you see the mindset? I have often talked about it, that there are people who feel superior by making you feel inferior. Such a cheap mindset. Now, the ball is in your court. अब गेंद आपके पाले में है. Do you want to remain there? Or do you want to improve? Growth is centric, folks. You have to keep growth in the center, learning in the center. If you are learning every single day, you would not mind. But if you are not learning, if you're not growing, then yes, you should feel that pain. Because you want to improve, but you are not making an effort. So it's a reminder for you. It's a reminder for you from the Almighty in form of those comments, those laughs that, hey, wake up. It is high time that you ignore yourself. It is high time that you just ignore your learnings. It's a reminder for you. So if someone laughs at you, just realize that, okay, there is a next level to it. I'm okay with that. I would improve. I hope it is clear to you. We don't get time to think while speaking, which is possible while writing. Getting the right words and framing right sentences is always a problem. Well, if you do not get that much of time in terms of your thought process and churning, go a bit slow. Go a bit slow. Do not go that fast that people are unable to understand you, or forget about people. Think about yourself. The faster you have to speak, the faster you have to think. The faster you have to speak, the faster you have to think. If you go a bit slow, you give your mind some time to think, form sentences, and then speak. Remember, right? You are learning how to drive a car. You're learning how to ride a bicycle. You're learning. You're learning. Can you do stunts? How many of you can do stunts? How many of you can ride a bicycle by standing on the seat? Tell me. How many of you can ride a bike by standing on the seat of the bike? Very few of us. I cannot do that because I have never practiced it. I have never tried it. But there are stunts, man. When we watch Republic Day Parade, do you see those people, those army people, how well they do it? Do you see that? Yes or no? It's all practice. Everyone learns to knows how to ride the bike. But there are very few experts who can do those stunts, jumping from the cliff. I bet you have all watched those action flicks, or maybe those Rohit Shetty movies in Bollywood. I hope it is clear, folks. All these examples are practical for you to understand that stop giving excuses and start taking action. Okay, Kanika Arora. I attended your session before my interview and it went so well. I tabbed myself before that and got selected in Stanford University of Texas. I need to pinch myself and I need to read again. Everyone, pay attention. We have a news from Kanika Arora. Let's read again. I attended your session before my interview, seriously, and it went so well. Oh my God. I tapped myself. I'm pinching myself, Kanika. I tapped myself before that and got selected in Stanford University of Texas. Kanika, this calls for a party. You don't believe it? I don't believe it, but that's true, I guess. So this is phenomenal update, and I'm super proud of you that your life got impacted. It happened. It happened. This is super awesome. So Kanika, I would like to get in touch with you. You have the number, reach out to my team, and I would love to speak with you, right? That's the best that we can do. And that's the number. It's 999-686-7899. Drop in a WhatsApp, right? Or better, you can Instagram us and let us connect. Let us connect. That's a super update. And this is a proud moment for all of us. Thank you so much for bringing attention to that. I did not read the comment previously, but this is super amazing. Super, super, super positive. Wow. Okay, you have the number, right? Awesome. Wow. I hope this is enough. Wow, wow, wow. Thanks, Kanika. You made my evening. I would sleep peacefully now. You can hear my snore this evening. I'll be snoring loud, really loud, so that everyone can listen how peacefully I sleep tonight. Great, great. Super awesome, super awesome. All right, folks. Aaj ke liye itna hi. We had a great session this evening. Please do share this video. I request. I really request that you should share this video in all your WhatsApp groups and your Facebook pages, your profiles. Do that. I would really appreciate it. I would really appreciate it. So, how many of you would be doing it? Tell me honestly. How many of you would be doing it? Promise me. Okay. All right. All right. Super. Super. Thank you so much. It was lovely being with all of you. And I really appreciate all those who would share this. Those who do not share, it's cutty. I love going back to my school days, folks. That's why I keep on reminding myself of the childhood. Do that. It'll be fun for you also. All right, then. Let's catch up tomorrow and let's make it fun. Till then, stay awesome and stay productive. Bye bye.